All right, let's try this again. I didn't hear anybody, so everybody go count down, guys. Come on. 3, 2, 1. I want to give a big shout out to our new mascot, Urius. Where you at? Let's go, Urius! He'll be out and about since that's going to take pictures with him. He does not like it.
Welcome in live to Fayetteville, where we have NISL doubleheader happening on this Friday night showcase. It's going to be Fayetteville versus Columbus. We're starting with the women's teams today. My name is Parker Johnson. I'll be taking you through all the action, and we thank you for joining us live on the NISL YouTube page. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see every single stream of every single game. Fayetteville has the ball first here as Carly Banks attempts to take it away, but Fayetteville sets up their possession. Fayetteville is 2-8 this season. They are sitting last place in the 5-team NISL. Columbus comes in with a 5-4 record in third place, just barely hanging on to third place, just in front of Tampa Bay, who has also notched 5 wins this season, but has 6 losses. Columbus is in the gray tops, blue shorts tonight. Fayetteville in all black, defending home turf. Fayetteville's record does not look great on the season at 2-8, but their last game was a 6-2 home win against Tampa Bay, and Coach Jay Burby told me that he felt like this team is really starting to put it all together as Banks has her shot deflected by Maddie Capel, steers it away from goal. Came away with a 6-2 win against Tampa Bay in their last home game, which snapped a 5-game losing streak for Fayetteville. And this is a team that really feels like it can compete with anybody all the way up and down the NISL standings. Things have tightened up recently, and this season, top 3 teams out of 5 will make the playoffs. Number 1 seed gets a bye in the first round, and the other 2 play in the semifinals. Here's a transition opportunity for Fayetteville early on, right into the hands of Bria Rianco in the Columbus net. Rianco hails from Largo, Florida, but a local to Columbus, where she played at Columbus State and finished top 5 in all the major statistical categories for goalkeepers across her career there. Quintanilla has an opportunity to play it off the boards here, skews off the side of her foot as Mitchell trying to pick it up and take it away for Columbus. Battle on the boards, won by Fayetteville. Toe poke shot, deflected twice. Mitchell tries to clear it, but it's right down the middle. Leghart with an opportunity. Fayetteville's leading scorer thumps it against the defender. Rebound off the back glass. Here's the tricky Carly Banks, displaying some nice footwork as she waits for some help going forward. Banks is now the player coach of Columbus, a theme we will touch on tonight for both the men's and the women's team. There's a number of player coaches throughout the league. One of them was Chris Mahaffey, who was the coach for both the men's and the women's team for the Rapids at the start of this season. Mahaffey now out. Carly Banks, as the veteran leader and a coach in her own career, in her free time, has stepped up for the women's team. Stephen McIntosh is doing the same for the men's team, who we'll see take the field after this game. Now there's an open net and a shot from nearly half field. Bounces just off the post as Olivia Jarrell nearly caught Sam Walker out of her goal. A few close calls early, but we stay scoreless through the first 5 minutes. Indoor soccer, a game all about transitions. Just trying to spark one of those opportunities here. Fayetteville win it back. Leghart keying things from the center circle. Leghart leads the team in goals and assists, 10 and 7 respectively, despite her defender position. If you take a look at the roster, she gets very involved and does a little bit of everything, as is required of all 5 outfield players and even the goalkeeper at times in the NISL, as Leghart fires one from deep, strikes the net above the goal. Leghart is someone near and dear to Coach Jay Burby. Burby was a coach in the Olympic Development Program in the state of Pennsylvania. And that is where Leghart grew up. And he actually coached her 15 years ago in the ODP program. And so when she scored this year in the season opener against this very Columbus team down in Georgia, Burby told me that he could barely contain his emotions. He ran all the way out onto the field and was nervous about getting a yellow card, but was willing to take it because he was just so happy to be reunited with his ex-player and mentee. And she has really become the key cog for this team not only anchoring that back line, but also, as I mentioned, providing most of the goals and assists for this team. After her, their leading scorer is Maddie Capel, who has 6. Shot comes in from distance. Back off the bar, rebound. Lockwood forces it through to the middle, and Fayetteville continuing to apply sustained pressure here in this first quarter. Another free break and another shot right at Rianco, who's equal to it. See who the ball went off last there. It was off of Fayetteville, so Columbus have a chance here to restart, break a little bit of that fury pressure, which has been constant but has not amounted to a goal just yet. Here's Amy Nunez on the break. Flicks a pass forward. Capel. Really should have done better from there. Fayetteville forward, and now Joy Grove brings it in transition. Decides to pull it back here. Just over halfway through the first quarter here. Reminder, we do play 4 15-minute periods. Running clock all the way through, and there will be a halftime break after the second quarter. Only time the clock will stop is for an injury, an official timeout, or in the last 2 minutes of each half. Free kick for Columbus, lined up by Jarrell. Boda fighting for the ball on the boards, goes through the legs of Walker, but the deflection angled it out just enough so that Leghart could boot it down the other way. Grove trying to turn her defender. And now Asha Valathong breaks forward, finds a return to Grove. Her first touch trickles into the hands of Walker. But quickly back with Columbus. Starting to respond now after being on the back foot. Another foul against Fayetteville. And this will not be the most dangerous angle in the indoor game. Those free kicks up against the boards don't really have a lot of room to back it up, but there's plenty of room for this shot as Jarrell leaned back a little too much and sent it over. Matter the angle. 16, Carly Banks is dangerous from just about anywhere. Keep an eye on her in gray. Jay Burby told me that the #1 key for them tonight is going to be stopping her, especially in transition. Banks played at LSU. She's had experience in the WPSL, playing outdoor semi-pro as well. Currently coaches in the U.S. youth futsal system as well, so plenty of indoor experience to go alongside it. A very technical player, as we saw earlier on, and just has that nose for goal that is so valuable. 11 goals, 6 assists this season. And it's a beautiful set play as Capel nods it in. Fayetteville on top early. Capel just snuck inside right in front of Bria Rianco. And the redirect earns Fayetteville their reward, which is nearly equaled here by Lauren Mitchell. But the early pressure for Fayetteville pays off, and now Quintanilla can't quite keep a slick attack moving. Will the game open up a bit now? Banks plays the 1-2, gets it back. Banks on the left foot! Rattles it off the post and in. And just like that, 1-1, a beautifully built up goal. The touch to set her up. And no mistake with the finish. That is what Carly Banks can do. And how about the assist as well from Olivia Jarrell? Great combination play from the Rapids. Here's Banks one-on-one. Moving towards the corner, now with the chance to cut back inside. Banks back onto the left foot. Takes a slight deflection, which made it trickier for Sam Walker, but she still held her own, made the save, and rolled it out to Lockwood. This retreats as Fayetteville goes across the halfway line. Lockwood for Quintanilla. Quintanilla thought she had a pass off in the middle, but the clearance goes over the boards, and that is a mistake that you can't make defensively here in the NISL. It results in that free kick opportunity right at the top of the arc. This time it's mishit by Quintanilla. Quick shot. Leghart plays it inside. Lockwood battling. Mitchell gets the best of her at first, but a little help from her teammate brings it away. Quintanilla flicked wide. Now the reset for Fayetteville. 90 seconds left here in a first quarter that has flown by. Lockwood. Deflected shot, falls for Leghart, and the rebound, what a save from Bria Rianco. Quick reflexes to get back up and stop the second effort right in front of her own net. Fayetteville still have it. Deep shot from Herbert, deflects out of bounds. This one will be a free kick from the side. Herbert looking towards the middle. Back stick was Quintanilla. Rapids in transition. Jarrell had one to her right, one to her left. Decided to play it down the middle. But Columbus may get another opportunity here as we close out the last 30 seconds of the first quarter. Great control from Yutzi. Plays a ball back into the middle, looking for Grove. Twisted away by Fayetteville. They still have a little work to do here before the horn sounds. Yutzi shoots up and over, and that should just about take us to the first quarter break. 1-1 your score after one quarter. We will step aside briefly and be right back here with NISL Soccer. ready for quarter number 2 here from Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 1-1 after a back and forth first quarter. Fayetteville controlled most of the play, but opportunities both ways. And the game remains level with 15 to go until halftime. Goals from unsurprising suspects: Maddie Capel for Fayetteville and Carly Banks for the Rapids. Teams switch sides here, so Fayetteville in the black, moving right to left now as you view it on YouTube. If you're checking us out, let us know in the comments where you're watching, who you're rooting for. Love to hear where the NISL fans are tuning in from tonight on this Friday night ahead of a full weekend of indoor soccer throughout the league, and one that will really shape the playoff picture in both the men's and the women's divisions. Columbus women currently in that all-important number 3 seed. Remember, top 3 make the playoffs. But Tampa Bay hot on their heels, and who does Columbus have to play after this? Well, they will get to play Fayetteville one more time, and they also have to play Tampa Bay twice. So every game is do or die here for Columbus to hold on to that 3 spot. And Fayetteville, if they want any chance of making the playoffs, which they will tell you they still certainly do, they need to win pretty much every game from here on out, as they've only got 4 contests left after today. And this, at least on paper, probably looks like one of their most winnable. They'll take their time to set up the attack. Capel flashes it across goal. Leghart. Second effort, hits both posts and out. Can't get much more unlucky than that. But Rianco thanks her good graces that Leghart did not add to her goal tally on the season. Grove spots the pass across to Jarrell, who just can't reach far enough, but it stays alive through Banks. Carly Banks on the left foot. Can't replicate her first quarter goal, but Ramos inside. Looked like she took the ball, but got a pretty heavy chunk of Emily Barnett in the process. And so Fayetteville escapes with the free kick, and the opportunity for Columbus goes begging. Looked like Jarrell had a tap in transition. Banks attempts the cute layoff for Megan Byers. Read well by Fayetteville. Lockwood setting up inside. Lockwood turns. Capel trying to run interference again, just how she got that first goal. Lockwood wants to take it through the middle. Banks escapes the challenge. Play on, says the referee. Banks sees the pass at the far post, just enough of a deflection off Anna Boda to take it into the hands of Walker. Rotation for both squads here. stay fresh, especially as a road team in these NISL weekends. The travel really asks a lot of these players, and only 4 subs on the bench tonight for the 5 outfield players for Columbus. Banks spots a chance to send one goalwards from nearly half field. Didn't get any air under it, but there's been a couple of those chances on the quick turnover where Columbus has tried to catch Fayetteville out. The Fury have definitely been the protagonists so far. Much more happy to keep the ball and set up shop in Columbus's half, but the Rapids have been every bit as dangerous on the counter. Terrell tried to wait for it to come off the boards. Falls back to Lauren Mitchell. Boda plays it wide, and a strong challenge from Mitchell. But her pass forward into the heels of Joy Grove as she tried to scamper away from the Fury back line. Nunez checks back in for Fayetteville, but given away as UT streaks down the middle. Jarrell has her defender on the outside, cuts it back to the middle. UT, and a diving left hand from Sam Walker keeps it out. Those can be some of the hardest saves right down there next to your standing foot, but she got her left hand low and kept it out from UT, who was in a great position there in front of net. Nunez, forward to Quintanilla. Calm, composed, and she finishes. 2-1 Fayetteville. Quintanilla snuck behind the back line. Bianca went down early, and Quintanilla was able to keep her cool just long enough to wait and dispatch it right over the Columbus goalkeeper. That is experience and composure at its finest from the Salvadorian international, but it's UT with another opportunity gone missing. Now Mitchell is in front of goal. Another great chance for Columbus, and still they can't convert. For all of the ball that Fayetteville have had, Columbus has missed several chances right in front of the goal, not to mention a few good saves from Walker as well. Or this scoreline could look very different right now. Fayetteville hangs on to the lead for the moment. 6.5 minutes till the half. Slide in from Magno. Utsi on the ball again. Drops it off to her left. And another misfire from the Rapids. Looks like it may have hit off the hand of Mitchell as the clearance came out from Fayetteville, but referee waved play on. Schultz. Terrell wasn't quite ready for the pass. Nobody asking for the ball at the moment for the Rapids. Just need somebody to get their foot on it. And instead, it's Fayetteville who will secure the possession. Herbert stalls so the Fury can get some subs in. Barnett plays forward. Capel not quite ready for it. Herbert had to be alert. A soft back pass, but enough on it for Walker to get there. However, it's Jarrell cutting in from the left. Jarrell into the middle. There was a shot or a cross, only she will know, but Carly Banks came close to getting on the end of it. In the end, a bit behind her. And now this quick sub for Columbus, trying to get to the ball before Leghart. Chaos everywhere we turn at the moment as the game has lost a bit of the structure that we saw early on. Banks. Dangerous pass, cut away by Leghart. Valeton. Finding herself up top, gets away from her defender. Valeton. The move was nice, but the finish didn't quite match, and that has really been the story of the first half for Columbus, but some great footwork from the Powder Springs native, Asha Valeton, who played at Georgia Southern University. She combines with Byers and Rianco. Drawing in a defender, keeping her at arm's length, and it's over to Jarrell. Has Banks, goes for it herself. Off the netting, so that will result in a side out here for Columbus. Valeton. Shot blocked. Rianco is there at halfway. Valeton again, palmed over by Walker. Russell tries her luck. Byers back to Russell. And the return, not in a good spot for Byers as it rolls into the hands of Walker. Pivotal 2 minutes here for last place Fayetteville. They seek their third win of the season. Trying to hold on until halftime with this 2-1 lead. It's a feisty, traveling Columbus Rapids team. Created a lot of chances here in this second quarter and haven't been able to convert. Banks. Ever an entertainer. Onto her left foot. Low off the base of the right-hand post. And Fury trying to catch Columbus while they make some subs here, instead pull it back. There was a chance for them to go as one of the Fayetteville players had snuck behind the entire Columbus back line, which was only one player at the time since they were making a few changes. Clearance, and the clock will stop here as there's an opportunity for Fayetteville to set up free kick opportunity from the top of the arc. Quintanilla will be over it. Fayetteville's second quarter goal scorer knocks it off to Leghart, and her pass doesn't even reach the Fayetteville captain. Utsi taking it away, but Quintanilla making up for her turnover. Trying to spin on the wall. Utsi sticks with it. Utsi passed another one. Now she goes down, and we have a foul just outside the penalty area. This will be a short corner for Columbus. They could fire into the middle. Utsi tried to make the angle and go glass. 30 seconds left here until halftime. Columbus seeks an equalizer. Tackled away. Last chance now. Quintanilla. Maybe just a little bit rushed. Not sure how much time she had, if she could have taken another touch and then drawn a defender and made the decision a little easier for herself. She's frustrated as she walks off, but Jay Burby will be pleased with a first half that sees Fayetteville take a 2-1 lead to the locker room, looking for its second straight win here at home. Lots more to play out here, and don't forget, a men's game later as well. So stick with us. We'll be back in a few after halftime here in Fayetteville. Welcome back to Fayetteville for second half action of our first contest of the night. It's Fayetteville versus Columbus here in the women's division in the NISL. 2-1 your halftime score with Fayetteville, the home team, in front. Halftime messages from Fury coach Jay Burby will probably be much of the same as his team dominated possession for large periods of the first half. And for player coach Carly Banks over on the other side, the lone goal scorer for her Columbus team, who did create a number of chances in transition in that first half, her message might have been to her teammates, you guys need to finish a little more like I did when I got my opportunity. But in any case, a tight game, and one that may well go down to the wire here as Fayetteville trying to pick up its second straight win after a 5-game skid in the middle of the season. Brought them down to 2-8. Now Fayetteville currently 3 wins back of the 4th place team. They are currently in 5th. It's Capel trying to get off to a quick start here in the second half. Leghart looking for the top left corner and didn't miss by much. Here's Banks. Banks still going and looking for the offload after she had beaten the majority of the Fayetteville team once, but good team defending from the Fury to stay back and get as many bodies in front of her as possible, because when you're going against Carly Banks, you have to understand that she's going to beat the first couple. There's a strong possibility, so you need to have that 3rd and 4th defender helping out. That was the case there for Fayetteville. Contact off the ball as Quintanilla rubbed a Rapids defender. Chance goes begging for the Fury. Chance to regain it near halfway, though, and they do so through Boda. Just going back to that contact, I did mention off the ball. It looks like, I believe that's Erica Schultz from Columbus, number 8. May have taken a hit to the head area. So referees at all levels of the game obliged to stop play when there's a chance of a head injury, so Schultz can go get checked out over there in the locker room. And should be Fayetteville ball when we restart here. Drops to the feet of Leghart. So precautions taken, and indoor soccer back underway here. Boda coming forward, has a one-on-one opportunity, lays it off for Nunez. Nunez came up through North Carolina FC at club level, also played collegiately at Wake Tech, the Raleigh native. Hasn't seen a whole lot of action this season, but back in the lineup here at home for Fayetteville. It's a reality of the NISL that the rosters fluctuate quite a bit from week to week, with a much larger pool generally available for the home games. Fayetteville will have some tough travel this weekend, as Mitchell was in key position on the line there to block that shot away. Fayetteville, as soon as this game ends tonight, the men's game that is, teams will travel down to Tampa Bay, take on the Strikers tomorrow night. Very quick turnaround, and not a short trip from here in Eastern North Carolina. Leghart under some pressure, goes long. Nodded away by Mitchell. Now a chance to turn here. Jarrell thought about lining one up. Faked the defender, gets her shot away, but just past the outside of the post. Finishing, letting down the Rapids yet again. But they continue to create chances, and based on the number that they created, especially in the second quarter and here to start the second half, that scoreline will not stay at 1 for very long in gray. Here come Fayetteville. Boda gets away before her feet get tangled. Incidental contact, said the referee, who was right on the scene. Banks double teamed against the glass. Mitchell barged her way in and then got tugged back in the process. So she wins the free kick coming out for Columbus. Chance for some subs to come in for both sides. Banks can't control. Quintanilla. Banks just a little bit too rough there as she tried to win it back off of Fayetteville's number 11. Leghart walking it up. And low line of pressure from Columbus as they're happy to let Fayetteville set up this attack. Slashes on. Fakes one way, goes the other. Back heel pass, Utsi. And a timely tackle comes in from Anna Boda to deny an otherwise beautiful attack from Columbus. Now a push in the back of Banks as she clatters into Walker. 3-car pileup in the box. Banks wants a penalty kick. Walker's wondering how she got run into. Let's have another look here. To my eyes, you're gonna see the weak pass come in towards the goal, and watch Banks charging towards the ball. To me, it looked like a little shove from the Fayetteville defender into the goalkeeper, but it is awarded against Columbus, and Walker was able to just toss it out there. But Banks frustrated. She will make the run here. Goes for the first time effort instead of taking on Leghart. And it's easily saved by Walker. A frustration building from Banks in that attack. Utsi looking for the middle, cut out by Leghart. Quintanilla has 2 defenders on her. Somebody's open, and it is Leghart on the far side. Eventually she gets it over there. Columbus making some subs, but Fayetteville take their time here. Nunez, miscontrol, turns into a turn, then she goes down, and a little bit too handsy from Valathon. A free kick to the Fury. Leghart lasers it. Might have hit the crossbar. I think it also got a touch from Rianco in the goal. So, by my count, we'll call it a save. And Leghart has been known to score those direct free kicks this season. She's got a couple notches in her belt from the dead ball situations. Part of the reason for her outstanding goal and assist tallies, despite playing defender all all year. She does take the majority of the free kicks for Fayetteville. Fighting for it is Haley Gomez. Working alongside Nunez, who escapes, plays it towards the middle. Good idea off the board, but it didn't quite pop far enough back out to give her teammate a chance inside the box. Capel knocks it back. Barnett switches the field. Now it's back to Barnett. No score here in the third quarter. 10 minutes gone. 5 to play. Neither team has scored since early on in the second quarter. Columbus has not scored since the first. Very balanced. Both teams have had chances, but just Boda. See the strategy from Fayetteville, trying to use the back walls as much as possible and sort of hit it off the angle and back into the middle of the box as a way around the Columbus back line. But they just haven't quite found the right angle or haven't had the runner in the middle on a few different occasions. And right now, Columbus well set up in what Coach Burby describes as the house setup. 4 back with 1 at the top in a defensive structure. But this is Jarrell coming the other way. Jarrell gets free and scores. 2-2 as the Rapids hit on the break. Was not able to get enough as she stuck her leg out and tried to make the tackle, and it gave Jarrell enough room. A finisher of her quality does not miss those type of chances. And even in a day like today where she's been uncharacteristically shaky in front of goal, give her enough opportunities and she's going to put one in the back of the net. Jarrell scored 71 goals in 91 career games at Columbus State. She was the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year back in 2018. So goal scoring is something she knows well. Certainly a master in that art. And put it on display in that latest transition. She's certainly been their most dangerous player outside of Banks, and it was she who had the assist on Banks' opener. Now here's Russell off to Banks. Banks, I think she spotted the ball at the back post and was looking for the assist, but in any case, it was deflected by Fayetteville. Columbus trying to mount a little more pressure now. Switch up the momentum of this game here in the third quarter as we quickly approach our final frame. 90 seconds left here in the third period. Mitchell, physical battle, and Banks comes away with it, able to knock it back to Russell. Utsi has certainly been a bright spot for Columbus tonight. Banks again, tried to poke it back to Utsi. Mitchell, Byers, and Walker falls on it. Line change for the final 60 seconds of the quarter as Leghart returns. Her absence certainly noteworthy as Fayetteville conceded that goal while she was off the field. Now it's Banks. Misplayed off the wall. Leghart inside, Quintanilla. And she did her best with it, but couldn't direct it either side of Rianco. Grove off the wall. Banks taken down, but that will be the last action of the third quarter. Columbus with the only goal of the period to tie things up at 2, and it's a fresh game heading into the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the conclusion in just a couple minutes. Minutes left in tonight's opener from Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and safe to say this is a must-win for Fayetteville. They will need to find some sort of winner here. They want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Just 4 games left on the calendar after tonight, and quite truly, they need 4 wins. So, including tonight, there is not a lot of room for error if Fayetteville want to make the playoffs. Stakes are still high for Columbus as well. They are currently in the 3rd and final playoff spot. But Tampa Bay, by virtue of their sweep over Memphis, who, by the way, was in first place last weekend, has closed that gap quickly. So Columbus feeling the pressure from below them as well. But this game has been a barn burner, back and forth. Just 1 goal so far in the second half. truly very little between these two teams tonight. If you joined us late, women playing first tonight. We do still have the men's game coming up later, approximately 30 minutes after the final whistle here. Herbert passes over to Legart. Sends it all the way in from nearly half field. It goes to Capel. Banks trying to bait her defender in. Passed easily and passes over to Grove. Now it's a chance for Barnett in transition. Step over of her own. And then a big tackle from Olivia Jarrell. And she gets a blue card for the late challenge. Let's take another look, because I thought she might have got some ball here. Certainly an aggressive tackle. Let's have a second watch. Definitely plenty of leg as well. Coming from behind, hard to argue that one for number 21 in the gray shirt. So this will be a power play situation for Fayetteville. Hard to overstate how big this could be for their season. Player up here for a couple minutes, seeking a go-ahead goal, and it's Lockwood who finds it. She's the free person in front of goal. Fayetteville's number 5 slots it in. Simply a numbers game at this point. Just take a look. She was occupying the goalkeeper, then just pulled back away as soon as the ball went out wide. Great movement from the forward, and she capitalizes with a goal. So that puts the Fury back in front as they led most of the first half. And that restores 5-on-5 with the penalty release as well. So Columbus back the other way. Banks. Her shot ends up at the feet of Yutzi. Now Byers. Byers, left-footed, deflected. Nunez clears. Nunez with another challenge, throwing her body on the line. And now it's Valeton. Nearly played the ball off the wall to herself, but just was not able to react in time. The intensity has really gone up a notch ever since that blue card and the resulting goal. As Banks turns the corner, fires it into the middle. Leghart has been stuck to Banks like glue. Yutzi just misses out on the far post. Leghart will be pressured here by Banks. Back to her goalkeeper, Sam Walker. Now Boda. Fayetteville looking for some offensive changes here as Quintanilla re-enters. She is on the ball. Quintanilla plays it forward. Left a little bit too much on that pass. Gave Herbert too much to do. Leghart storms into the attacking half. Can't win the ball back here. Schultz gets it away. Good to see her back in the game after what looked like some sort of head injury in the third quarter. Fayetteville will set up shop yet again. Slightly higher line here from Columbus as they had at times in the first half. It's Quintanilla prodding inside. Pass cut out by Jarrell. Quintanilla plays it away as Fayetteville keep possession out of the back. Leghart. more switches for the Fury. Barnett back in. Ramon has entered as well. Barnett cleverly around the pressure, uses the wall, and a late tackle flies in as Barnett had released the pass. I think Schultz understood that she was late there, and the referee also took a benevolent view of the situation. Not sure there's a whole lot of difference between that tackle and that of Olivia Jarrell, who received a blue card for hers. But that is illustrative of where that gray area lies and gives the ref the opportunity to determine intent. Jarrell tried to spin away there. Now she gets it out to Yuti. Mitchell. Russell with a dangerous pass out. And Banks just not on the same page as Jarrell. Leghart found a seam, took all of it, and rattled a shot that troubled Rianco as she was at the edge of her area and wasn't quite sure if she could touch it with her hands. Now it's Banks again, inviting the contact. Banks stops and goes, fires it with the right foot. And now Banks running all the way back to defend on the full sprint. And Banks, by the way, has played every minute of this contest so far in indoor soccer. That is quite a feat. So she will hang around the back line for a minute or two here, as Fayetteville build the foundations of another attack. Quintanilla comes up a bit limp, but will soldier on. Nunez tried to flick it forward. Quintanilla gets onto it, and Quintanilla scores her second of the night. Fayetteville up 2 in the closing stages. It was a hopeful flick from Nunez, and truly Rianco should have dealt better with it. But Quintanilla with the heads-up play, keeping it alive and poking it home. They say as a forward, you must be an eternal optimist. Always assume that somehow the ball might come to you. That's what Quintanilla did on that play. And through a misstep of Rianco, it fell to her, giving her a chance for her second of the night. Now it's Quintanilla returning the favor for Nunez. Nunez on the left, cut her own angle down. Rianco was in a good spot. Now Rianco calling for the timeout. Each team does get 1 per half. Can't take them with you. So Banks breaking the glass, if you will, pulling the fire alarm and giving her team a moment to not only talk about how to close these last 5 minutes out, but also just catch their breath. It has been an open game, back and forth. Very little rest for this slim traveling Columbus squad. And Fayetteville have chipped away throughout the entire game, they've held possession very well, made Columbus run, and finally, here in the fourth quarter, it is paying off. Started this frame 2-2. Fayetteville capitalized on a power play with a woman-up opportunity as Leghart scored, or Lockwood, pardon me, and then Quintanilla on that last play extended the lead to 4-2. So Fayetteville on the verge of its third win of the season. It would be their second win in a row. After a couple of losses already to Columbus this season, this could prove to be a big turning point for Fayetteville. Coach Verby told me he thinks this team can compete with anybody in the league, top to bottom. Women's division is tightly clustered with Memphis in first place at 6-3, Central Florida in second at 7-4. Columbus is just one win in the win column behind first place, but they are just 3 wins ahead of Fayetteville, and it would of course be 2 should this scoreline hold. So every single team with a chance to make the playoffs, every single team with a chance to miss it as we head into the home stretch. And Fayetteville will only make the picture more muddy if they can hold on here. Things can change quick in indoor soccer. We certainly know that, and so does Carly Banks. She turns her defender, Banks, onto her left foot. Decided to pass it off, and it felt like her teammates were just awaiting a shot from their coach and captain, and it's saved by Walker. Clutch play in the Fayetteville goal. And that, for my money, is Walker's best stop of the night in a key moment as Grove does some important defensive work. Banks, 1-2 with Schultz. Now it's Byers trying to find Banks on the far side. Lockwood, side for Barnett. Tried to play it into Nunez. Here's Banks again. Had Boda going one way and tried to pull it back, but Boda was able to stick that foot in just in time. Lockwood will wait for it to come off the boards here. Tried to play the cross back in off the back wall. Nunez dispossesses. Nunez fires it and scores for Fayetteville. Amy Nunez with the exclamation point on a huge fourth quarter for Fayetteville. The ref nearly stopped this play from happening, and in the end it's Grove who unsighted Rianco in the goal. Whether that may have taken a slight touch off of Grove, I'm not sure, but the Rapids goalkeeper stood completely still, and Nunez made it 5. So 3 minutes here to go. Fayetteville close to matching their 6-2 scoreline in their last home win against Tampa Bay. But Valeton trying to change things here with a beautiful sombrero flick to try to get herself a worldie as we close things out. Since it was cleared out over the wall, it's going to be a free kick opportunity. Barnett sends it up, and the clock continues to work in Fayetteville's favor here. Utsi. Alondra had her team on the break, and then she was crashed against the boards. She is still shaken up down there by the penalty box. which will have a new customer in Ellie Russell for just about the remainder of this game. There's 2:04 on the clock, and it's a 2-minute penalty for Russell, so effectively an early shower, and Fayetteville, if they want here, will probably have every opportunity to just pass the ball around, up a player with their 3-goal lead, and come away with their 3rd win of the season. Quintanilla to Magno, dribbling into the corner here. Schultz. Fayetteville can afford a double team to win the ball back here. Up an extra player. 90 seconds to go. Capel. Boda sends it high. Clock will stop here as it does in the final couple minutes of the game. But it won't do a whole lot to help Columbus's hopes here. Nice flick from Mitchell. Down to Jarrell. She fancies her chances. And Leghart does as well. Some really outstanding one-on-one defending tonight we've seen from Shannon Leghart. Hasn't had quite her usual offensive contributions, but she is a defender after all. And she's done a great job keeping tabs on Banks and likewise Jarrell at times tonight. Here's a collision incoming between the two of them. You can see it coming from a mile away. And Jarrell making a business decision with the oncoming Leghart. And that just about sums up the game from tonight. Fayetteville has really taken it to Columbus, who despite creating a lot of chances have been second to everything. And this scoreline could have certainly looked different with some better finishing from the Rapids. But from a Fayetteville perspective, they stuck to their game plan. They took their opportunities, especially when they went a player up. And it paid off in the form of a 5-2 win, which keeps the playoff hopes alive as the women's division in the NISL continues to tighten. Fayetteville's 2nd win in a row, defending home turf. And the Fury moved to 3-8 as the Rapids dropped to 5-5 on the season. That is going to be all for our first game tonight. Don't forget, men's action coming up in just about 30 minutes. We will step aside, but we thank you for joining us on YouTube. Keep the stream open. It will be the same link, and we will see you in a few for the second part of tonight's doubleheader. welcome to part 2 of tonight's doubleheader, where our men's NISL contest pits the league's bottom 2 clubs against one another as they race for those coveted top 3 spots and a place in this year's playoffs. Homestanding Fayetteville will circle Columbus as the only team they've beaten since February, while the Rapids will look across the line at a last place Fury team that represents an opportunity for a much needed win here at the business end of the season. My name is Parker Johnson. I'll be taking you through tonight's action. Shout out to everybody who was around for our first game, which saw Fayetteville take home a win with their women's team. And now it's time for the men to strut their stuff. It's Fayetteville who start with the ball. But a quick transition here from Columbus. At the feet of Stephen McIntosh, the player coach of the men's team. Chris Mahaffey started the season at the helm for both the men's and women's sides in Columbus. They're now both rocking player coaches, and it's the captain, Stephen McIntosh, who has stepped up for the men's team. McIntosh defends here against Castellanos. Sanchez plays a hopeful ball in the direction of McIntosh, but Savine was off his line to collect defensively for Fayetteville and searches for John Conley. Philiter wins it back for the Fury. Philiter off to Steele. Doesn't see the pressure behind him, but it falls to Castellanos. Over to Philiter. Flicked high towards the middle. Now Gracia. Steele. Had some swerve on that shot, but collected by Freddie Zamudio in goal. It's a handful of new players for both teams that haven't featured a whole lot this season. Jamil Gracia, number 24 for Fayetteville, playing in just his second contest of the season. And 4 players on the Columbus roster that in the Columbus lineup tonight that weren't even listed on their roster. But as we know, things change quickly here in the NISL, especially with the travel involved. So we get a look at some fresh faces and some new talent, along with, of course, some stalwarts like the man here on the ball, Castellanos for Fayetteville, who sprays a beautiful pass towards Conley, Fayetteville's leading goal scorer, who knocks it off the boards for Steele. Steele can't direct it goalwards. Fedouille passes forward to Miller. And Miller with a great opportunity, but flashed it wide. That is Howard Miller, one of the aforementioned fresh faces for Columbus, the number 10. Steele passes into the middle. Fayetteville with a great opportunity in front of goal. Gracia. Nil-nil early on. First of 4 15-minute quarters here tonight. Running clock as a refresher to the new faces to the NISL and indoor soccer. Conley with the defensive hustle. And it's taken away by a combination of Devontae Mitchell and Fedouille, who also combined for a foul on the play. Garcia will restart for Fayetteville. Conley, all muscle on the boards, and gets his shot away. Never one to shy away from a physical contest. It's fired at the back post by Lucas Quiroga. Juan Morales carries it forward. He's invited to shoot, but it's blocked by Quiroga. And Savim with the safe hands. A couple of players in the lineup tonight that bode very well for Fayetteville are John Conley and Amir Savim. Conley, due to his work obligations, is not available all the time, especially for road games for Fayetteville. But all of his 7 goals this season have come in Fayetteville's 2 wins. Who else has been present in Fayetteville's 2 wins? Amir Savim in net. He has missed some time with a broken leg this season. In fact, he also played on the broken leg at times throughout the season, according to Coach Jay Burby. However, he's back to full health tonight and back in goal. And as I mentioned, he's been in goal. 2 of his 4 appearances for the Fury have been their 2 wins this season, one of which did come against Columbus. So simply based on those 2 things, you like Fayetteville's odds more than you otherwise would have heading into this game. Furthermore, they're a significantly better team at home than they are on the road. Part of that due to the availability, but this season, Fayetteville's 2 wins have both come at home where they hold just a -6 goal difference. However, on the road, 0-4, -64 goal difference in those 4 games. That's an average of losing by 16 goals per game. And that is how Fayetteville is securely in last place at the moment. But with a win over Columbus today, they would move into a tie for 4th place. And from there, the gap would be even shorter to 3rd place and a potential playoff berth this season for the defending champs. A great effort from distance. Rattles off the bar. Fayetteville lucky to get away with that one as Savim was frozen. But still scoreless halfway through the first quarter here. Road. Inside for Marish. Conley. Slower approach now from the Fury as they try to work their angles. Road posting up on the left wing, unable to control the ball, which gives Columbus a chance to clear their lines here. They're going to need help from Zamudio, who gets the ball out to Sanchez. Now Morales. Miller. Quick on the spin, fighting contact from Conley. He gets it, in fact, from Road, who then wins the second challenge, and the ball pops out here for TJ Hurd. Dropped off for Garcia. He has a rip. Deflected by Columbus, and out to Hurd again. Marish cutting inside. Conley sniffing for space inside. Hurd fires it near post and blasts it past Zamudia for our opener as Fayetteville take the lead. A couple of interchanges through the middle, just threw off that positioning. And as he comes across, Zamudio leaving that front post open. And a stinging finish from TJ Hurd for his 7th goal of the season. Collegiately at VMI. product out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Lines up the free kick. It's too soft for his teammate, but Filleter could only poke it away. And Filleter very upset about something. Not sure exactly what went down there. Clock has been stopped by the officials, but beyond that, not sure what the holdup is. However, it looks like Brandon Cervantes has gone into the penalty box, and so we are looking at a 2-minute power play here for Fayetteville. Not sure exactly what happened, but Filleter certainly knew as soon as it went down. And after a brief stoppage, Fayetteville with a great opportunity here to extend their lead. Filleter tries to do it himself. Instead, Castellanos rattles one high. Gracia trying to pop it up, looking for a volley. Castellanos fires in. Filleter trying to collect the scraps at the back post, but Fayetteville reset. Still a minute and 20 seconds on the power play. Filleter saw the space at the back post. Conley did not read his intentions, and Fayetteville just doing his best here to hold the ball up. Now Mitchell back to Zamudio. Bleeding another few seconds off of the penalty, but still nearly a minute left for Fayetteville. Gracia heads it forward. Conley towards the back post. Castellanos goes down in the box. Referee down on the near side looked back at the referee, who was at half field and much further away from it. Neither made a call. Steele, Castellanos. 20 seconds left now on the power play. Great passing from Fayetteville, but the Rapids have held out wonderfully as Cervantes preparing to check back in here, and he is good to go. So Fayetteville restored to, or Columbus rather, restored to full strength here. Final 2 minutes of this first quarter. Turn from Castellanos. Off to Steele. Gracia into Castellanos, trying to backheel his way out of trouble. Conley. Lots of space here for Miller. Storming forward. Howard Miller. Off the boards, but defended well by Fayetteville. And here's Cam Steele coming the other way. Steele with options both ways. Goes for Conley on his right. Conley tried to shift it back towards the middle. And eventually it comes to Castellanos, but he has to reset here. Fayetteville. 20 seconds for Castellanos. Fayetteville, Castellanos! And it's blocked away heroically by Devontae Mitchell. Savim, with no pressure, takes it as far as he wants. Steele back off the boards. I think he tried to play it to himself. In the end, the final 3 seconds tick away, and Columbus under serious pressure. Bend, but only break for the one Fayetteville goal. It could have been much worse, but the Fury in charge here after one.
Special shout out to our all partners, Enzo Sports, and St. Clair Software. Shout out to your club. Where you guys at? Let me hear it. Without you.
Been hotly contested NISL action through the first 15 minutes of our second game tonight here at Crown Coliseum. Fayetteville men leading Columbus 1-0 off the foot of TJ Hurd. Could have been a lot more for Fayetteville, who had 2 minutes of power play in that first period as well. And controlled the ball, especially towards the end of the quarter, where their pressure was constant against the Columbus goal. Early on, Eric Sanchez getting his team a break from the defensive efforts and a chance to set this free kick up. It's taken quickly into the feet of McIntosh. Sanchez again. Miller takes it back to goal. Miller going toe-to-toe there with Lucas Quiroga. And the call goes in favor of Fayetteville. A little bit of grappling both directions there. Miller takes a spot on the bench now. he's certainly been a live wire for Columbus. A lot of the good things so far in their attacks, which have been few and far between, have come from the new number 10. But Fayetteville staying physical with him and forcing him off the pitch. Garcia. Hurd. Roga plays with Marish. Looking backstick for Rode. Patient buildup from the Fury. This is Jay Burby's style, which has taken some time to implement this season. This is night and day from what we saw a couple months ago in the season opener when these two teams faced off in Columbus, and the Rapids held the vast majority of possession the way that Fayetteville has tonight. McIntosh ventures forward, but eventually forced back by Hurd. Forces a bad pass out of Zamudio, but Garcia is unable to regain possession. Sanchez. Marish asked for the call and got it. As Fayetteville will go for a line change here before taking their free kick. A couple switches for Columbus as well. Castellanos. Garcia to the back post. Castellanos flicks it in. A deft header from the Fury captain. Let's have another look as Garcia spotted him free at the back post. And a powerful header down to Zamudio's right. Looks like a timeout here just after that goal, as Columbus with some things to figure out on the sideline here. Fayetteville is in full flow right now. And trying to keep that momentum going. It's been a great night for the Fury fans at Crown Coliseum. First responders night. Been the Fury with the women taking home a 5-2 victory. Men up 2-0 early here and really in control of the action. Both teams seeking to escape the cellar of the NISL standings. 5 teams competing this season. And Fayetteville at 2-8, seeing Columbus as first team they could jump and trying to make their move tonight with a full-strength roster, and that really is crucial for this Fayetteville team. We see the impact of players like Garcia with that last assist, Cam Steele, and Amir Savim in goal. You have Fayetteville with their best 5 players. Extend that maybe to 8 or 9 with the first few subs we've seen off the bench tonight. There really is a dynamic team. You really can see how this team won a championship in our inaugural season last year. There have been times this season where it has looked far-flung from that team that lifted the trophy right here in Crown Coliseum some 11 months ago. But at least for the moment, the Fury have things ticking once again. Benjamin Aronga tried to play it off the angled part of the glass, and I think just missed it a bit high. But it's those kind of unforced giveaways that have allowed Fayetteville repeatedly to regain possession, keep their foot on the ball, and keep their boots on the necks of this Rapid side. Filleter goes down and earns a foul. Scooping it through. One of his signature passes. Seen him get assists from that very position in the past. Steele wriggles away. Garcia. Falls for Castellanos, who puts his boot firmly through it. Garcia doing the same. Fayetteville just first to every loose ball right now as Garcia gets it to Castellanos, looking for the return for Conley. Castellanos will play it back with the confidence of a team 2-0 in the lead and looking for more. Marish. Mentioned a couple of players who had been key in the 2 wins that Fayetteville's picked up this season. Marish is an interesting case in that he's only played 1 other game this season, but it was the home win against Columbus a couple weeks ago. So you could count number 13 as one of the lucky charms for the Fury as well. Filter to Lorenzo Marish, squares up McIntosh and plays it into the corner for Johnny McNeil. Haven't called his name too much tonight. Big Red, as he's affectionately known. Steele to the back post, and it's a great save in the end from Zamudio to deny Marish. Filleter draws another foul against the boards, but a huge chance for Fayetteville to get its 3rd goal. Under pressure. Jason Martinez on the prowl. ball did stay in play, and it's Marish who finally flips it in. This ball went off the sidebar of the glass. Then it sneaks past Zamudio, and a couple of bounces go Fayetteville's way. It's just been that kind of night here at Crown Coliseum. Lead for the Fury, and they are really in control of this one here in this first half. We got about 4 minutes left until halftime. If the Fury can put another goal on the board, this game could be over very early as Marish looks to end it. Zamudio does come up with a save. And for my money, you could ask some questions about Zamudio on a few of the goals they've conceded. Marish into McNeil, had all the time in the world to pick his corner for that shot, went top right and just missed the frame. McIntosh. Hurd. Conley gives him the return, and Hurd rattles it off of Valdivia. You could hear Stephen McIntosh scream through the whole arena. Columbus's player coach that they need to keep the ball after Brandon Cervantes gave it up a little too easily. Garcia playing the pivot at the moment. Garcia. Quiroga. And Hurd towards the middle. This will set up a set piece opportunity. Top of the arc free kick coming up for Fayetteville. Conley's gonna line this one up. Only 2 in the wall. Usually you'll see 3. It's passed off for Hurd, who goes low with it. Sanchez will try to catch Fayetteville out here. He's got 2 men to beat. Tries to sneak right in between them and eventually is dispossessed. Hurd streams forward. This time Zamudio saves at his near post. This time Filliter will line it up instead of Conley. Conley himself right in front of the goalkeeper. It's the same direction going for Hurd. This time defended better by Columbus. 30 seconds left here. In the first half. road. Fayetteville treating this as what they hope will be the last attack of the half. It's like a pretty clean challenge from Quiroga. So the clock will stop here as it is the final 2 minutes, 17.5 for Columbus to muster anything. Fayetteville's pressure has been outstanding in the first half. Helped them keep control of the ball for most of the time. Clever spin from Quiroga. About 5 seconds left here. Filliter into Conley. Shouts for a handball. And that takes us to halftime. So the damage goes no further, but it was done early by the Fury. 3-0 and cruising as we reach halftime of our second game tonight from Crown Coliseum. Fayetteville trying to climb from the bottom and make a playoff push. We'll see the second half after this short break. Stay with us on the NISL YouTube page.
What's going on, Crown?
Waiting.
Let me get out there one more time. Y'all ready to dance a little bit? No! You have a good time. Y'all get up outside the I want y'all to get y'all on. And I want y'all to wave y'all like. And we're going to have a good time. You ready? Bring the beat in, y'all. Y'all get up and dance. Y'all got this.
Columbus Rapids have finally emerged from the locker room, and we are nearly set for the second half. Fayetteville's been out on the field waiting for a few minutes here, but understandable that Columbus had a lot to talk about after that first half. Stephen McIntosh played the whole half in the back line and then had to transition to giving the team talk at halftime, and you wonder what they can do differently to stem the Fayetteville pressure, which was incessant in the first half. Fayetteville really flexing its muscles offensively and defensively. Columbus had very little to speak of in terms of chances in front of goal. Fury held most of the possession, and although there was a bit of fortune involved in a couple of their goals, it's also hard to say that they're not good value for a 3-0 lead here. But 30 minutes to play, and we'll see what the Rapids come out with in the second half. Howard Miller certainly starting fresh, banging one off the top of the goal. As Gracia passes back to Savim, who's in some trouble here. He has to play it off the boards. Works his angles well to just keep the ball along the side and away from any danger. Morales over to Valdivia. Now it's Howard Miller again. Miller showed some exceptional flashes of quality in the first half, but really just not on the same page as some of his teammates from time to time. That ball actually stayed in as it hit the top of the glass. We've seen some funny bounces tonight. Including the one that led to Fayetteville's third goal, where the ball hit off one of the bars that holds up the glass and just somehow managed to angle itself back into play. Fernando Castellanos took a tough tackle there, but is able to get back to his feet without too much harm done. Fires the ball forward to Conley, who just can't get it around his defender. But Steele hangs on to it for the Fury. Castellanos back to Steele. Steele inside. Gracia, instead of flicking towards goal, sent it in the direction of Conley, who didn't seem like he was quite ready for the ball there, as Gracia, through the legs of McIntosh, tried to keep that momentum going, and instead McIntosh is able to win it back. He's got an option at the back post. Can he get it to him? No. Jamil Gracia thought he came back away with it, but in the end, it's McIntosh who draws the foul. And I think he sees the lighter side of things. Can certainly appreciate the dash of nutmeg as the Fury tried to spice up that last attack. Castellanos beaten once but not twice. And now Sanchez dribbling through. No foul, says the referee. Play on, and Conley will do so. Conley versus Mitchell, one-on-one. Mitchell held him up well, but Castellanos straight through. Marish, rather. And that is a fourth for Fayetteville as Sanchez remained down on the other end. Fayetteville takes advantage. And the blowout continues here at Crown Coliseum. Let's have another look. Good movement from Marish, but it was simple to say the least. And Columbus down a player through that whole sequence. Frustrated, but left with very little they could do to stop that Fayetteville attack. 4-0 now. Marish has 2. Castellanos has 1, and Hurd has 1 for Fayetteville. Castellanos up to 6 goals on the season. Hurd notched his 7th, which ties Conley for the lead on the team. And for Marish, his 2 goals are the first 2 of his Fayetteville Fury career. Line change for Columbus before the free kick here. Morales has his shot deflected up and over by Lucas Quiroga. While Morales creates some space, and the deflection almost hindered the Fury. McNeil breaking free. Reach to Road. Road to McNeil, and simple as you like, Fayetteville have 5. From the Fury bench, urging McNeil to keep the pressure on here. Fury smelled blood in the water, and understanding how quickly a game can change, they are hoping for more here in the 3rd quarter. Last time out here at Crown Coliseum, Fayetteville had a 3-2 lead against Tampa Bay. They gave up 3 goals in quick succession, and all in the 4th quarter. So I think that memory is lingering with the Fury sideline. Certainly have a bigger lead tonight, but goals can happen so fast in indoor, and the momentum can change drastically. Here's an opportunity for it for Columbus. Miller couldn't bring the ball under his spell, and in the end makes very hard work of it. Does draw the foul, but that was a rare opportunity for Columbus to have some space in transition. Miller lined it up himself. Deflection from Fayetteville. Play on. Valdivia gave McIntosh not much to do with that ball. And over on the boards, Fayetteville still fights for it. Now Miller gets another opportunity. McIntosh, and a flying save from Savim as he came back across his goal to deny a stunner from Stephen McIntosh. That is one of those momentum-changing plays that, had it gone in, might have G'd up that Columbus team a little bit. Hurd over to Conley. Now Garcia. Conley into Garcia. Beautiful goal from the Fury. The extra pass pays off, and it is 6-0 Fayetteville. like the attack had slowed down, but Fayetteville work it patiently, and it's the extra pass that catches Columbus sleeping. Great move from start to finish. And you look back to that save from Savim just moments before, a 2-goal swing in less than a minute. And although we've got over 20 minutes left to play, this game really feels done and dusted. Heavy contact on the board, and that will be a blue card for Cervantes, his second of tonight's contest. So he goes into the box, and as if Fayetteville had not already been playing like they had an extra man the entire night, they will get a case to go 5-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Almost pulled off a fancy flick. As Mudio clears his lines. Conley to Filliter, back to Conley. For the extra pass. And a rough challenge as Conley stepped right into the space of the Columbus player. That's a dangerous one as he hurtled right into the boards. I believe that's Miller holding his back. And the last thing you want to see, especially with the game getting out of hand for Columbus, is to make that return trip short a player. Columbus will have to play again this weekend. They play on Sunday back in Columbus against Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, Fayetteville will be making the overnight trip down to Tampa Bay themselves. And they will follow up tonight's home action with a road contest tomorrow night in Florida. So that is a big trip upcoming for Fayetteville. Not to mention the fact that Tampa Bay is the team right above Columbus and Fayetteville in the standings. Assuming that Fayetteville hold on tonight, they and Columbus will both be even with 3 wins. Tampa Bay has 4 on the season. And Tampa Bay really shook up the bottom of the table last season, as we get another look at Miller there, who wouldn't be surprised if he remains down in the bench for the rest of this one. Tampa Bay really shook up the standings last weekend. They swept Memphis, both the men's and the women's teams. And Tampa Bay went from tied at the bottom to up into 3rd place, especially once you combine that with their win against the Fury in their last game. that crazy comeback that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So Fayetteville and Columbus both looking up at Tampa Bay, both with a chance to play them this weekend. So Cervantes has finished his penalty, which started before that injury took place. Conley is now serving his for the role that he played in said injury. So now it's 5-on-4 the other way after a short period where we were 4-on-4. And we'll see if Columbus can conjure up anything to serve as a consolation here. Morales. Oranga with the left-footed shot. He has it again. Back to Morales. Morales dancing on it. Come back for Sammy Valdivia. And Fayetteville will give him all the space that he wants. 40 seconds left with Conley on the sideline. Phillitter spots the opening. Zamudio was out of his goal, and Phillitter opted for the low route. Morales over to Valdivia toward the back post. To Sanchez. Morales to Oranga. And Valdivia again, knowing that the penalty was about to be released, decided to take his chances, and that brings the Fury back 5-on-5 here, so nothing doing for Columbus on the power play. Fury holding on to what would be a rare shutout in the world of indoor soccer. Of course, still over a quarter to play. That was a feat that Columbus pulled off against Fayetteville in the season opener this season with their 7-0 victory, which kind of set the tone for this season as they beat the defending champs. Signal for the clock to be stopped as Lucas Quiroga is now serving a penalty for Fayetteville. Not exactly sure what led to that, but he's over there in the sin bin now. So looks like we'll get another power play here to finish the third quarter, and we'll extend to the beginning of the fourth as well. Again, another chance for Columbus to just breathe a little bit of life back into this game. Savim not having it. Eric Sanchez. Valdivia. Laces one, and Savim saves again. Phillitter has broken free on the far side, escaped the Columbus back line, and Phillitter can't believe that he missed it. Fayetteville nearly scoring down a man. That brings us to the close of the third quarter. Fayetteville in full control, on track for its third win of the season. 15 minutes left for Fayetteville to see out this one. Thanks to everybody sticking around on the NISL YouTube channel tonight. Plenty more action to come this weekend, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications so you know when NISL goes live and you can watch the streams of all the games. Talked a little bit about the standings. This is a huge result that is shaping up here for Fayetteville as they chase the third and final playoff spot. Of course, Central Florida have already clinched a playoff spot. Assuming nothing goes horribly wrong, they will be the #1 seed with an undefeated 11-0 record. They've really taken the league by storm. Morales fires one off. And after that, it's a bit of a jumbled mess. Memphis, after that sweep defeat last weekend against Tampa Bay, is now down at 5-4. Tampa Bay has improved to 4-7. So you look at the win totals of the rest of the teams, and you got Memphis at 5, Tampa Bay at 4, and then Columbus and soon to be Fayetteville at 3. So certainly all to play for. From a Fayetteville perspective, their last few games are going to be, as I say, tomorrow against Tampa Bay. They play Columbus at home again, so if they can repeat this performance, and they may be potentially making up an extra game against Columbus as well that wasn't played earlier in the year. But it's the Rapids here getting a consolation goal. From the free kick. Have another look at this one, a beautiful finish. Howard Miller, after going down injured earlier on, coming into the game and giving a little spark to the Rapids, showing that he is A-okay. I'd say he deserved a goal for his efforts in the game tonight, and one of the more dynamic players for Columbus. Garcia slots it in. It's going to come right back to him. But as I mentioned, Central Florida locked in as #1, and then below them, basically, it's a free-for-all, and it will really depend how the other 4 teams finish the season for the remaining 2 spots. Chase Road adds to the damage. It puts his name on the score sheet at the back post. And just as quick as Columbus got on the board, Fayetteville responds to keep the lead at 6. Another great team goal here. Quiroga played the key pass out wide, and he's been a bright spot certainly for the Fury tonight. Player who we hadn't seen so far this season. Coming in and controlling the play nicely. Here he is on the ball again. Escapes some pressure. Falls to his backside, but got it away for Marish. Up the sideline. It's back to Marish again. McNeil carving space out on the boards. Quiroga off the boards. Quiroga snuck in at the back post. Fayetteville has a couple options. McIntosh. Touch got away from him. He cut down his angle, and it's off the boards to Mitchell. Columbus just a little bit slow to everything tonight, but Fayetteville holding off his defender. Completely sealed off Marish. Unable to find the back of the net, the big forward. Miller. Burst of pace in transition, but it's only going to leave Columbus shorthanded here as Hurd. Castellanos, and I think he wanted to get it back to Hurd to complete the Golasso. Still a chance, though, for the Fury. Philiter and Castellanos. Beautiful stuff all around from Fayetteville. The route continues 8-1. And how about this finish? That connection between Archie Philiter and Fernando Castellanos, leaving Zamudio a statue. This time it's Castellanos to Gracia, and it's in for steal for the tap-in. Fayetteville running absolutely riot. Columbus have made their own mistakes all night long. It was Mitchell this time who not only had the poor giveaway, but then didn't run back, and it was his man who taps it in at the back post. Frustrating night for Columbus, no doubt. And to the point where they will be eager just to chalk it up as a loss and go on to the next game on Sunday, back at home against Tampa Bay. As I mentioned, the team right above them in the standings. So even with a loss tonight, by no means is gonna derail their playoff hopes. And as I mentioned before, winning on the road, Jay Burby told me, is the most difficult thing to do in this league, period. Doesn't matter what team it is, what roster they have. Okay, maybe I guess it doesn't matter as much for Central Florida because they've also won all their road games, but it is an incredibly difficult task with the travel that's required, the tight schedules, organizing the men's and the women's team, changing the roster. A lot of factors go into it. Not to mention just the simple advantage when you're at home of sleeping in your own bed, eating your own food. Really makes a huge difference down the line. Conley went for it himself, and Philiter frustrated after he busted his lung to get all the way up the pitch in support. Now Philiter's free in the middle again, though. He will get the ball. Tries to flick it to McNeil. Overran it. Half a quarter left for anybody else to try to get on the score sheet here. Philiter probably top of that list, by the way. He's flying around still. He's posted up here by Faduyule, who's used that same little move a couple of times and remains unsuccessful. Driven pass forward to Hurd. Nice control. Now it's Conley. Gracia tried to get it off the boards. Hurd. Eventually it's sent away at the back post. McIntosh. Clean tackle by Hurd. Steal. Conley draws his defender in, trying to go past. It's Cervantes, who's on 2 blue cards tonight. Pass all the way to the back. Philiter gets it back. Philiter, unsure if he was going for a cross or a shot there. Reesh. Looking for his hat trick on the evening. Conjured up an impressive angle there. Lorenzo Marisha nearly snuck it in at the far post. McNeil called for a handball there. Sanchez is the quick sub off the bench who tried to sneak into the field of play undetected. Steele battling with Miller. Gracia splits the lines. Steele into the far post. Clean finish from the NC State, Penn State alum. It's a player the Fury will be glad to see back on the pitch because his finishes like these, right through the legs of the defender from a tight angle, that makes Steele so dangerous. He's a good finisher on both feet as well. That's his 6th goal of the season. He's only the 3rd game that he's played in. Mitchell tees one up off the boards and put home by Miller, who has now scored both of Columbus's goals. Savim did all he could. Credit to him for the full effort in the dying moments of this one. Final 2 minutes here from Fayetteville. Fury on the verge of snapping a 4-game losing streak. Just a case of this team really trying to look forward rather than back here as they push toward a playoff spot. Referee waited to blow his whistle there, and Garcia tucked it in. I think he's had enough. Savine paws away another save. He's had a great game, as per usual. In the 4 games he's played, Savim has given up less than 6 goals per game, which is a very strong mark in indoor soccer. Backup goalkeeper Derek Roddy, by contrast, someone who, fairly or unfairly, was forced into action with very little experience this season, has given up over 16 goals per game that he's appeared in. So, Savim, who is not only a great goalkeeper, but a big-time leader in this team, is only going to make his numbers look better after tonight's performance. And should Fayetteville mount a push toward the playoffs here as the season wraps up. I'm sure Savine will be a big part of it. He sets it up here for Conley. Fires one off, goes all the way up and over the netting. Don't see that too often, but under 2 minutes here. They will stop the clock. Just 3 seconds left to go. Last chance for Fayetteville. And the one bit of spectacular play that does not come off for them tonight. It's a 10-goal victory for the Fury as Fayetteville does the double tonight, sweeping Columbus at home. The men's team with a 10-2 victory, the women's team with a 5-2 victory. And we greatly appreciate everybody who has stuck around through both games, taking in what was a great Friday night in Fayetteville. The playoff push is firmly on, and the Fury are making their way up the table. It's been a pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Parker Johnson, signing off from Crown Coliseum.